Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Giving your breaking daily updates related to the Sebastian Rogers case. This is going to blow your mind, guys. I've been personally covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, came out and told their stories in this interview about what transpired related to the disappearance of their 15-year-old son. Katie, Sebastian's mother, describes the day before he disappeared, Sunday, February 25th. They went to BJ's, he got a colossal popcorn, he was just a very happy, jovial young man, and they came home, put some snacks away, and then they went to a local bowling alley, and next to the bowling alley was a steakhouse where they ate. After they ate, they loaded up and went home. He took out the garbage, and the rest is history. He goes to bed at 9 p.m. Mom goes to bed at midnight. She awakes at 6 a.m. to wake Sebastian up as she normally does, and he's gone. Christopher Proudfoot states that he was not even in the area at the time that Sebastian left the home, that he was many miles away as he was working in Memphis and staying in his camper in Mississippi. A lot of people watching this case unfold became very, very skeptical of both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot's story about what happened leading up to Sebastian's disappearance. Many people noticed the deep abrasion scratches in some areas looking like bite marks on Christopher Proudfoot's arms some 8 days after Sebastian disappeared. Seth Rogers, which is Sebastian's biological father, decided to start doing some ground searches and raised money on a GoFundMe page to aid those efforts. Christopher Proudfoot threatened Sebastian's father in a lawsuit related to the GoFundMe page and also the fact that Seth appeared to make the family, the other side of the family, look bad. Many people went out searching for Sebastian Rogers, and the one thing that was missing out of all the efforts volunteers put forth was Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. And when people asked them why they weren't out searching for their very son that went missing from their home, they told people that it was because law enforcement told them to stay home. However, that very evening, they were seen at a barbecue joint outside of the home enjoying a dinner. Meanwhile, never once searching for their very son that they say they care about and want to come home. Media was in an uproar, demanding answers from both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot why they're not helping with any searches for their son. And what was their response? They got in their camper, packed it up, and took off. Sebastian's mom and stepfather took off to a campground in Mississippi where they returned home for a short while and then returned back to this campground. Right now, it appears that the camper is still at this mobile home park or RV park with Chris's truck, but we have confirmed Chris is not staying there and has installed a camera on the camper. There are so many people curious as to why there's a camera on this camper but not on their home before Sebastian Rogers walked out that door. The sheriff was very cordial at the beginning of this search for Sebastian when he truly believed both Katie and Chris Proudfoot were deemed innocent and had no culpability in the disappearance of their son. If you look at the newest interview Nick Barris has with this very sheriff, you see a much different demeanor. Does this case anger me? You darn right. Does it make me want to almost lose my mind? You darn tootin'. Chris and Katie have a lot of explaining to do because what I just laid out for you is only a minor, small amount of the case against them. Hey guys, we've been covering the Sebastian Waindrake Rogers case. I'm Bullhorn Betty, and I had some alarming information sent to me yesterday afternoon. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared on February 26, 2024, and he has since turned 16. He disappeared from inside his locked home where he was allegedly only with his mother and no one else. There was no signs of forced entry, and it wasn't until March 14th that we realized there was some disturbances outside of the home where there were flashlights appearing on a neighbor's camera. Since then, I was sent a link to a video, and I ran that video on my show today, and it doesn't look good, and I do believe it's legitimate footage. This footage has been enhanced and identifies a lot more than we could have ever thought. Please take a look.
The best part about it is he has managed to do this without any evidence left behind whatsoever.
Used what Wi-Fi's were in the area. Right. Now, mind you, it was said that there were only two exterior internet sources that came in and out of the area that night. Mm-hmm. And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
This image was sent to me and I decided to do some further enhancements on it. So here's one shot where you can see Mr. Foot carrying something, but upon closer review and more enhancement of the photo, this is what I see now to be Katie, Chris, and Sebastian. They're carrying Sebastian. It looks to me as if Chris is carrying Sebastian in either a blanket or a bag. I see a blanket just because of the way the black shape is formed, and it looks like he's carrying him like a baby, and Katie is standing behind him or walking with him. The reason I think this is because when I was enhancing the photos, I could see the differences in the appearance of what looks to me to be a human face. And it looked to me like it was actually a human arm that was draped over the person who was carrying the black blanket, or the perceived person in the black blanket. But here's an example of what I saw. Here you can see the differences and enhancements, and as I enhanced each photo, you can tell that the person's skin stays the same color and the black blanket also stays the same color, so I know that those two images are associated with each other. So as you can see, each time I enhance the photo, you can see that the core images stayed the same. And then there's this little nugget. Let's watch.
Drove around the neighborhood, and I drove over by the school, and he's already...
Now, while I can't replicate this information, and quite frankly, it's highly disturbing for me, it does appear that it's legitimate footage. It appears that it's legitimate footage from the lights video that was enhanced. And it appears that there was two people loading a large object into a vehicle. We've heard statements from the stepdad, multiple statements, that we'll never find Sebastian. Boastful statements that the best part about it is he never left evidence when referring to his stepson. Like I told my audience on YouTube, it's time for us to pray. It's time for us to pray for Sebastian. It's time for us to pray that he's found safely and is brought home to his father. God bless each and every person watching this video. It's time to pray. God bless. What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son. Well, good morning. We decided to run the live a little early today because I have some things I'm going to be doing later this afternoon, and thought it would be good just to go ahead and get some of this stuff taken care of because, as you know, we all have been watching and monitoring this case for a significant amount of time. And the only time we ever see the mom or stepdad rear their ugly head is to save their own hide. And I think that's the problem. And no matter what they say, what they do, what interview they try to explain yet again, it's falling on deaf ears. It's falling on deaf ears because many people have children that are autistic, some that are nonverbal, some that are high functioning autistic children, some that are just on the spectrum, very mild issues with autism or being on the spectrum, all the way to, nonverbal, just there's a whole variety, a whole array of different, I don't know. I don't want to say diagnoses of autism, but I guess different levels of autism. I guess I'll let the parents that have autistic children and grandparents, kind of fill that in. But at the end of the day, most people protect their medically needy children, and they keep them safe. They worry very heavily about bullying from school, bullying from other people. They're very, in many cases, overprotective of their medically needy child because of their disability, and they don't want anything happening to their child because they have a lot of love for their child. And when we hear this case and we see a mom and stepfather running away, not assisting, not helping, trying to throw people in jail because they see through the crap, trying to stop people from talking while being on national media or local media, trying to say that they are wanting everybody to help. Well, you know what? Everything that they've requested to help, I've done. I've never contacted these people, never seen these people, and obviously they don't want their child advocated for. They put themselves on this pedestal that they've done all of this stuff. And let's face it, the whole entire community has rejected these folks, except for a very limited amount of people in the Hendersonville area. Something does not smell right. This case never passed the smell test, and people want us to act like it doesn't exist. And that will never be the case when it comes to my involvement in any missing person or missing child case. We know the law, we follow the law, and we advocate for these cases within those confines. And we will always continue to push the limits when it comes to the children of this great country and protecting them. This is the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He was 15 years old when he disappeared. He is now 16 years old, and he has not been seen since the day before he was allegedly reported missing. We have confirmed through video evidence that he was truly, in fact, at the Texas Roadhouse up until about 6:22, 6:23, when their car was seen pulling out and exiting the parking lot of the Texas Roadhouse. We have and are aware of audio and dash cam footage that identifies Sebastian making it to the house. From the time he went into the house to the time he was reported missing, that is where our focus has been and will always be, because there was a lengthy phone call between the mom and stepfather. There was activity on the side of their house leading out to a vehicle. We now know that there is video evidence showing people carrying something that appeared coming from the side of the Proudfoot home to the vehicle. I don't know whether he's alive or not. I've seen a lot of posts on social media that he passed away yesterday. I have not heard from the family one way or the other than a few days ago they said to pray, and the fact that Peter Hyatt has not been on at all for the last 7 months. All I know is whatever state he is in, he is a good guy. The true crime community is losing a very good one, and it breaks my heart to think of his struggle. Many of you guys have experienced, cancer in your own lives, in your family's lives, and friends' lives. It is nasty, and it is a fight when you have to fight. Your body is literally eating you alive, and it's sad because we rely on experts on these platforms, and to me, he was an expert. Do I always believe, or not believe him, but do I always agree with him? No, but it's his perspective, it's his experience. And one way or another, we all know that he's in a grave situation. So I think, oh my goodness, and we've got Michelle. I'm so sorry to hear that. So we've got a lot of stuff, and I think it's very important that we pray for him and his family. Again, I don't know what state he's in, and I know you guys are saying he's alive, but I've been searching high and low on social media ever since I realized there's a possibility that the information that he had passed was wrong. And so far, I haven't been able to corroborate one way or the other. So I think it'll just be safe for all of us just to pray for the Hyatt family, and keep his family as well as him in your thoughts and prayers. Since we are, since some people are saying one thing and other people are saying another thing, let's just take the middle of the road and just say the Hyatt family needs prayer. Okay. Somebody's saying his channel is gone. I checked it last night on YouTube to see when the last time, because I didn't know. I thought maybe there would have been a post on his community page that I could, make heads or tails of, and I didn't see anything. So as of last night, his channel was still there, and I do hope the family keeps his channel up, because I think everybody needs to remember Peter's contribution to the true crime world long before there was a true crime community. So somebody says, what did it says? I checked it an hour ago. It was still there. Okay, thank you, sweet Stevia. Perfect. So there's just some misinformation. So either way, I think we all appreciate the contribution Peter Hyatt gave to the true crime world, especially across these social media platforms. And no matter where he is or what state he's in, it sounds like the Hyatt family certainly needs some uplifting, some prayers, and some positive vibes. God does move mountains, and if he's still here, there's always hope, right? So we don't want to take that away from anybody's family. We just want to make sure that we honor and make sure that Peter Hyatt's accolades are well established in this community for the future, because although Peter Hyatt will never, ever, ever be replaced on these platforms, I truly hope somebody, steps up and has his integrity and his passion for the truth. So that's just, that's really all I have. I don't know him personally, but I can tell you, I definitely appreciated his work and appreciate his work all these years. And I can tell you that he is somebody that I watched before I even knew who he was. When I was a kid and we were watching true crime, and he'd be up on those news, giving his opinions and stuff like that, just like Pat Brown. They've been a staple in my personal life since I was a child. So it's hard to see anybody struggle with cancer. And so let's just keep him, as well as all the people that are struggling, in our thoughts and prayers. I know our list is getting a little longer and a little longer by each passing day, but I truly believe that all of us working together brings hope to others. And so I just hope that the family has strength and lots of love. He was a great man, and it's a great loss. So without further ado, I guess what we need to really discuss when it comes to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is, I think we all, at this point, a year later, and seeing absolutely no action from the mom or stepdad, we have our opinions of them. I don't think that at this point, I think that's the point I'm trying to make, because I truly don't believe any of us are going to give them a benefit of the doubt more than we had already given them. We have given them an opportunity to tell us the truth. The public has asked them, what happened, and they have lied, they have deceived, and they keep withholding information about their whereabouts and what truly took place that night. And that has us all uncomfortable. And I don't see anything that they were going to say outside of the truth, outside of them telling us what the hell happened that night. Are we going to ever give them a break? I'm certainly not going to stop my public criticism of these terrible people. And I think they're absolutely terrible. I think that in life, we meet evil people. We meet evil people, and we cross paths with evil people all the time. And I think both of these people are evil. Do I believe Katie was once evil?
No, I think she had a lot of problems. And then she married into an evil family that constantly made her son feel less than. And I think over 8 years, she got to the point where she just couldn't handle it and she started resenting her own child. Um, I have no words to describe my feelings about either one of them. I want nothing to do with them. I don't even want to be standing in the same courtroom with them. That's how disgusting they are to me. I want nothing, literally nothing. I don't want to see them. I don't want to hear them. I don't want nothing to do with them. I think they're pieces of shit. And I'm not going to stop my commentary because I think they are pieces of shit. I think they abused this child. I think they lied to many people. Chill out. I think they lied to many people about what was going on inside that house. I think they humiliated this boy and treated this boy very, very, very poorly. And this boy happens to be their son. And this boy's name is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And he has a loving father that had no clue any of this was going on. And that's what really upsets me. Donna, thank you for becoming the newest member of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Michelle, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the Bullhorn Betty membership. We are very, very sorry to hear about your mom. Just hugs and kisses and lots of love from our family to yours. Melanie, it's nice to see you. Happy Thursday. Delilah Mods Chat. I love your channel. Everyone is awesome. Oh, thank you, Melanie. We absolutely love you too. Strawberry, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. We have our beautiful Melanie. Anyone going through something right now, pray to you. Prayers to you. Thank you so much. That's very sweet and very kind. We have a great family over here. And Grave Crime with Grace, thank you so much. Gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. So all you new members, welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Ah! And you guys can't be in the padded room next to me. I'm booting. I want some quiet tonight. I'm just saying. I want some quiet tonight. Oh, Mr. Mathis up in the house. Good morning, sir. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Good morning, sir. I hope you are doing well this morning. It's nice to see you all here. So we're going to be breaking down this garbage interview that I think kind of rubbed people the wrong way. I feel like they're trying too hard to convince the world. I don't know what other assessment I can put on that. But before we get on with it, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that image that the unscrupulous PI is putting out has been debunked by law enforcement specifically. People are starting, they're trying to say, well, why are they asking for photos? Listen, I think they're trying to do one-ditch effort to find out if anybody in this world knows if they've seen Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I think it's just as simple as that. They're giving everybody the opportunity. If you have a credible sighting of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, send those photos immediately. I think it's a simple request. I think they're resolving something once and for all, if you ask me. Now, do I know that for a fact? I don't. I don't speak to law enforcement, never have. So I just assume, right? I look at stuff and I make theories. Sometimes those theories pan out. Sometimes they don't. This might be one that doesn't pan out. It also might be one that does. Hey, Smiley's World. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well. But at the end of the day, these people only come out and crawl out from under the rock when it serves them. Let's be honest. We don't hear from them unless the noose is tightening, right? If you go back and watch any of their interviews, they kicked news out, didn't want them recording. These are days that their son was missing, the very beginning days. Goes out there and tells the camera crew when he comes in at 1:30 to take the cameras off his home. On February 26th, Mr. Proudfoot certainly did that. And he also acknowledged doing that. He tried to downplay it, but he absolutely acknowledged doing that. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts whether that happened. They failed to even do the first interview for 8 days. 8. And that was when the case turned. That was when the case was about to turn to a criminal investigation. A criminal investigation. Now, they can say, oh, it's just an investigation. But as of January 25th, 2025, law enforcement was done hiding the fact that it's a criminal investigation. So we have a criminal investigation that started up about probably before day 8, but that's when everybody knew that they were no longer going to be searching. The viability of finding Sebastian out there. Give me just a second. There we go. I think when they realized it wasn't a viable situation, they were not going to be able to locate him. There's no scent. I mean, what are you going to do here? They have no scent to track. They have no eyewitnesses to source or leads derived from those eyewitnesses seeing him leave, right? And then on top of that, we have no video evidence of him ever walking out of the home. And let's face it, there's a lot of cameras in that little community. Okay. That's one thing we've learned through this process. There's a lot of cameras, some not so great images, some amazing, impeccable 4K quality nighttime view imagery. Okay. So we have a whole different, wide variety of video surveillance in that community that we have no idea what's on. One thing we do know is that one of their residents thought their cameras were broken. And lo and behold, 2 weeks after Sebastian went missing, law enforcement knocked on their door and was able to acquire footage that they didn't even know was on the camera. And that footage, from my understanding, was pretty significant. So there's a lot of questions that we've had for over a year, or right about a year, that have still gone without answers. We still have one party that screams that they've had nothing to do with it, 3.5 hours away, and we don't even have the last time they ever came to their home. That's how secretive that it should have. Listen, this is the way I look at law. If you were 3.5 hours away, your alibi is insignificant. There's nothing that law enforcement could derive from it. It definitely does not go to the integrity of the investigation. Yet Chris has told us over and 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 over again that his alibi is directly related to Sebastian's disappearance. Because if it wasn't, law enforcement would never, ever, ever tell him, you don't have to discuss that. Why? Because it's insignificant. He wasn't there, had nothing to do with it, but it's Chris himself that's told us his alibi is significant in the Sebastian Rogers case. He's actually told us that on every single interview out of his own mouth. That his alibi is significant to the disappearance of his stepson. And if you don't believe me, go back and listen. I can't discuss that. It goes to the integrity of the investigation. Law enforcement doesn't want me telling you. He's told us that over and over again, has he not? That his specific alibi goes to the integrity of the investigation of his missing stepson. And we all know we can trust everything Edgar says. But, he has told us over and over again, right? He himself has told us that. And so a year later, what are we left to believe after no information from his own personal alibi when he had nothing to do with the disappearance of his stepson and had no connection to his stepson and 3.5 hours away? He's the one that told us that his alibi is significant in this case, not us. We didn't assume that. He told us that. So now we are fast forward, and now the noose is tightening. We've learned through the grapevine that Katie Proudfoot lawyered up. I'd have to think Katie and Chris lawyered up. We heard that during those interviews, the attorneys were present. So it's solidifying that she does have criminal attorneys. And she's no longer, from what we're hearing, cooperating with law enforcement or in the investigation. You know, her attorneys are now handling all of that. The issue I think we all have is that when we watch the Brooke Houck interview, which is with Crystal Rogers, the other case that I'm covering here in Kentucky, is when they did the interview a week or so later, I think it was like she disappeared on the July 4th weekend of 2025. I think he was in the hot seat by July. I'm going off the top of my head and I shouldn't be guessing at this, but you know, within a week of her disappearance, and he was in the hot seat, Brooke Houck, her boyfriend. And they specifically told Brooks up front, and we're going to be reviewing that because there's going to be a trial on the Crystal Rogers case that we will be attending. And I want to get you guys all up to snuff on the case, and we're going to be balancing these two cases, the Sebastian Rogers case along with the Crystal Rogers case. Once the Crystal Rogers case is over, we're going to be balancing the Sebastian Rogers case and the Idaho 4 case. So, and we're going to be out there for the trial for the Idaho 4. So you guys are going to want to tune in and sub up to this channel if you guys want live coverage from boots on the ground. If you don't, and you would like to get your coverage from a bunch of squares and that you can't see or speak to or ask questions to, by all means, go to these god-awful hate channels. I'm sure that they do you guys just right. But for me, we go boots on the ground. We bring you live coverage. We bring you reality. We're not delusions. So when it comes to Katie and these attorneys and the Brooke Houck, and we watched the Brooke Houck interview, the interrogation of him, they told him up front, we think you're guilty. We think you are our prime target. You are our person of interest. So it makes me wonder, is that what triggered Katie to lawyer up with her criminal defense attorneys? And I also find it ironic that they hired criminal defense attorneys for a civil matter against me. Pretty interesting. Just to say the least. I hired a civil litigation expert. Have now. Terry was, as you guys could see, was junk. Wasted money, and hopefully we get better results with my new attorney. But at the end of the day, they told Brooks up front, we're looking at you for this. We would like to just sit down. If you had nothing to do with it, let's just chat, right? So it makes me wonder, did that happen with Katie? Because now all of a sudden, Katie and her abusive, medically, child abuse man, the one that likes to beat up on her son, well, they usually don't come out and crawl out from under the rock unless, it suits them, right? That's what their behavior has been. That's what their past activities and actions have been. Every time something bad looks bad upon them, they come out and want the world to listen to about how horrible their life is, right? How horrible their life is. We've never heard them say one kind thing about Sebastian. And then all of a sudden, she's so proud of him and just loves him so much. And now all of a sudden, he's the best kid in the world, okay? A year later, coming up on a 1-year anniversary. But yet she didn't mind taking his cats and getting rid of them for a man. She didn't mind stopping smoking for a man. She didn't mind having her son's dignity stripped from him when that man took all of his underwear and sent him over to his father. So every time he's at home, he's got to sit in a diaper. A man that sits there and tells this child how much he likes to soil himself. And if he just learns, then maybe, just maybe. Sorry, guys, I've got to hold on a second. Let me refresh here. I'll be right back. All right, give me just a second. I got to cover my camera until I get this up. Guys, hold on. I'm having some technical issues. I didn't realize my computer wasn't charged up, and I don't want to lose my live. Yeah, there it is. Which I did. I just lost my live. Thank you, computer, once again. Yeah, it just screwed up my freaking camera, and I don't want people seeing where I'm at. So we only got a little smidgen. There we go. Sorry, guys. Got to protect my security because you guys know how much of an animals these people are. They're felons that like violence, like beating on their own children, like drugs, and like being nasty and dirty. So everything that Bullhorn Betty isn't. So that's where we are. So without further ado, I think I bit your ear long enough. Let's get on with it, right? Let's get on with it.
Thank you both for taking the time to come talk with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
So here we are. So it's an entire year after Sebastian's disappearance. There's no really strong lead. There's no sighting yet. So tell me what you're feeling now. Here we are 1 year later.
I struggle to put words to how it feels, honestly.
I stopped that 5 times and let the real Me Too listen to that. I said, isn't that the same exact statement that she made when she gave the green shirt, when they gave the green shirt interview to the same exact reporter? Somebody needs to go back to that green shirt interview and compare these responses. Just saying.
The amount of ups and downs, the amount of like possible leads that haven't panned out.
Now I want you guys to notice something. This is one thing that I noticed that I think everybody needs to notice about this is look how Chris is. Chris doesn't want to touch her. Chris is sitting away from her. He's got this look on his face, and he keeps side-eyeing her as he's looking. I think, and in some of the speech that he says, you can tell he's tired of being with Katie. He's tired of the circus, and these are all unspoken words, but I will point that all out to you. He's now realizing he's stuck with this woman, a philanderer, a serial philanderer, now stuck with one woman after being married 5 times. Just saying. You can see his disgust. You can absolutely see his disgust toward the end. And then they have a staged moment. And we're going to go over that staged moment here in just a moment. Now, closer to
Every day, it's like waking up to this reality that it's actually real. And Sebastian should be home with us.
She's really struggling with her words on this interview. She's got 1,000 things going on in her head. She has to remember so much. Remember, she was highly prepared for these interviews. I can see it because I used to prepare clients for depositions and other things of that nature. I used to help them fill out some of their paperwork for, like, say, bankruptcies when they couldn't even keep, they were crying and stuff like that. But you prepare them for their hearings. You sit them down, you run through questions, you listen to their answers, you try to critique their answers. You never want to change their statement. I know, I saw that, Shay, Pigfest, Captain Pigfest. You can't make this stuff up. Look at this shirt. So inappropriate. So inappropriate. The king pig of the pig army. The king pig of the pig army. Right there.
He should be in school. He should be playing. He should be learning.
He should be playing? This lady never let him flip and play to begin with. This child was so restricted. Are you kidding me? He should be playing? This lady never let him play. The neighborhood didn't even know he existed. That's how much this lady allowed him to play.
He should be experiencing life. And
Yep.
until we can find him and until we can bring him home, we're going to keep doing everything we can to make sure that people don't forget about him. We're going to keep making sure that we spread awareness for him, and we're going to keep searching. And
Let me ask you guys. This is a serious question, y'all. This is a serious as a heart attack. Serious as a heart attack. Don't you think that you have to start looking to never stop looking? If you believe that that is an accurate statement, put a 1 in the chat. If you can continue to look when you never even started looking in the first place, please put a 2 in the chat. I want to gauge my audience on this, because this is a huge contention for me and many of my audience members, is these people have never searched. How can they continue to search when they've never even, they ran away from home multiple times in the middle of search efforts? Do we honestly believe? Delilah growled. She even knows better. Did you guys hear that? She went, I'm telling you, I'm training her to take a bite out of crime. I'll have to make sure she doesn't come to court with me. I'm just saying, not playing. I'm just joking.
definitely going to keep praying.
Too. I ain't standing next to her when she's.
You've told me
praying.
you do want to stay positive. I know you both want to stay positive. That's all part of it. So in your mind, do you see Sebastian coming back through your front door? Do you feel he's okay? He's alive. He's out there.
I dream about it every day. I dream that one day I'm going to wake up and this is going to be a nightmare. But yes, I believe that my son is out there somewhere. I believe that we are going to find him. We are going to bring him home, and we're going to find a way to recover from this and
recover from this. We're going to bring him home and find a way to recover from this. Now, mind you, here in just a little bit, she's going to say she doesn't know where her son is or whether he's dead or alive. How does she know she's going to find him and recover from this? It looks like she's already recovered. Now, I mean, outside of the one lone tear she was able to squeeze out, that was to the extent of the emotion she showed for her son that she hasn't seen in a year. A year.
I'm going to watch him grow into a young man and, live the life that he deserves to have.
Look at that face. Does that look confident to you? One thing you can't fake is body language. I mean, you can if you're a professional, but this lady here is not. She may think she is. You'll see a difference because Christopher is a master manipulator, okay? And you will see him make direct eye contact and lie to your face while trying to convince you that it's not a lie, okay? He's very, very skilled in his craft. This person here, not so much.
What would you say to him when he walked in that door?
Oh, God, I don't even know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze it down with hugs.
You're good.
Honestly, when I picture that, I just picture being able to hug him, to hold him, to smell him. I mean, just to be able to hear his voice, to hear his laugh, to see him just be with us and be okay is like
to be with us and to be okay. I
to hear his laugh, to see him just.
She has regret. That looks like
It's not. It's not. It's not. No, it's not. I don't know what the word I'm trying to use. It's not mourning. It's not urgency to find her son. Her face to me, you guys are saying guilt. I think regret. Listen to how she's speaking.
Just to be able to hear his voice, to hear his laugh, to see him just be with us and be okay is,
and to be okay. Just
like I can't wait to see my son. I want to find him so bad.
I bet she does. I bet she, look at that. That's not, that face to me is not mourning. That face to me, I don't know. Guilt, regret, I don't know. I think maybe a combination. I don't know. But not urgency, you never hear her plea to anyone to bring her son home. You never hear her do those things. She never really says, she's forcing herself to say his name because people have come down on her so much because she never speaks her son's name.
You think he's coming home, right? How would you describe what you all have experienced this last year with so many unanswered questions still?
It's horrific, to be honest.
Let's go back. I want you guys to see the person. I feel like their attorneys like this. I don't, because they're popping back and forth. You don't know where the cuts are. You don't know how long they were there. You don't know what advice they were being, what questions Holly asked and which ones law enforcement or their attorneys told him not to answer. But you do see this body moving back and forth in front of this camera. And I'll show you. It's right here.
You all have experienced this last year with so many unanswered questions still.
It's horrific, to be honest with you.
Right around here.
I don't know how to describe what it feels like to watch the news, to go hang flyers in every store, every business.
Let's listen to that again.
I don't know how to describe what it feels like to watch the news, to go hang flyers.
Has anybody, I just want to find out from, if there's any locals in my chat, has anybody seen this mom out posting flyers? Because the whole community says they've not seen her. She's kind of hiding. So green heart tattoo lines are not connected. And a cross in the middle of it, or, down one side of it. That freaked me out. I won't lie. No. Okay. All right. Just thought I'd ask.
In every store, every business, every place that you go to, and still find that some people don't even know about it. To hear that.
Isn't that what I said? Isn't that exactly what I said when I was hanging the flyers? Is there so many people that don't know about this? Yet all those flyers were ripped down that were placed up. Somebody that really searching for their kids.
There might be a lead, and then just to sit there and have to wait and find out that it's not him yet. And
she's really thinking it. She's struggling with her words. She is struggling with her words. She's got so many things going off in her head, trying to keep things straight.
She was ready to smile, and she can't speak. And what does she do? Shella says, never seen her. Yep. And what does she do? Once again, turns her head because she's tired of talking. She doesn't know what to say. And once again, wants Pigfest to speak on her behalf because she's not a good communicator.
It's pure hell.
Of course it is. Pure hell. I mean, what do you think happens when a child goes into a locked home and it never surfaces again? I mean, yeah, I would anticipate it being a pure hell, but I think it would be pure hell because they don't have their child there, not because of public scrutiny. That's where my disconnect becomes.
It's pure hell. I mean, there's nothing you can, there's no words, there's no way to put how this actually feels. And anybody that can, I don't see how.
Huh. How it feels for them. Wow. I'd like to hear, something on the lines of, it's pure hell for us, but we don't know what's going on with our son or my stepson. And so we put our feelings to the side for the sake of this our child that's missing. Would have probably been a little more appropriate. But again, they're not thinking of Sebastian. They're only thinking of themselves because that's what narcissists do.
I mean, it's day-to-day life changes and you're stuck. It's almost like it feels like it's a Groundhog Day thing.
And you're stuck. He's stuck. You guys hear that? He is stuck. I think that he just realized he's stuck. A serial philanderer stuck with one woman. And he can't do nothing because one person, loose lips sink ships. So now he's got to be a good boy because he doesn't want those loose lips sinking his ship. That's my personal opinion. Hey, Rodney, I believe in my heart Sebastian is haunting her. Her eyes are telling a story. Interesting, yeah. She's scared to death. She's going to say something wrong. Step on her own ding-dong. Yep. That's how I feel, too. She's very, very cautious.
Where it's the same thing over and over. You wait and you hope a phone call may come in. You may get something, may get a lead. Turns out to be nothing. That's how.
Kind of like that bunk video. Oh, and they bring up the private eye. I am still not convinced that the private eye works for them. I'm still not convinced. When we get there, I'm going to stop and I'm going to analyze. I'm going to let you guys listen. Now, if you guys had this rock star private investigator, wouldn't you kind of give him a plug? They didn't even mention his name. I'm not lying. They didn't even mention this Yahoo's name. Let's keep listening.
Feels.
For them. Not Sebastian.
What is that?
I mean, I think it would literally, I think they would both literally be struck by lightning if they actually gave a damn about about Sebastian more than they cared about themselves.
Message. I know we were talking earlier last week. Tell me what that message is that you want to make sure our viewers hear.
Let's listen to this message, this bombshell message from Kate.
I want to thank everyone who is searching. I want to thank everyone who is
bullshit. They tried to stop Seth from searching for his own son. They have not engaged in any public search. Hell, their own people that they've incited have only been out there a handful of times. They've hired them to do more damage control than searching. Let's be real here.
Spreading flyers, spreading awareness.
I got arrested for spreading flyers.
I want to ask everyone not to forget. And I want to encourage people to keep helping and to keep bringing awareness, not only to our son, but to all of the missing children, because they all deserve.
Don Wells, Don Wells, Don Wells. Now listen to this statement. This is a statement I never thought I would hear come out of a mother's mouth in my life. Let's listen.
To go home. And I would also like to say that if my son could hear it,
Oh, no, she's not there yet.
that we love him so much and that we are going to keep searching. We are going to keep looking. We are going to find him and we are going to bring him home.
She doesn't seem like she's convinced of that. Her face does not seem convincing. It's my own personal bias, possibly, but hey, I have a bias because of their actions.
Going to keep searching. We are going to keep looking. We are going to find him and we are going to bring him home.
No tears. She hasn't seen her son in a year. She had this whole interview, she had one lone tear go down her face. And it was after a plaid shirt man moved from one side of the camera to the other side of the camera, and you could see it. And it makes me feel like it was cued. There it is. There it is.
Describe your hope right now.
Where is that man moving? You'll see a
I'm
plaid shirt right
trying
down here moving.
to be
One
positive
second.
as I can, because
I want to find that.
Describe your hope right now.
I'm trying to be positive as I can, because I know that my son is out there. I struggle to find words to even describe how it feels anymore, because it's a living nightmare, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the fact that Sebastian is out there and that we are looking for him, and we're going to keep looking for him, and we're going to keep praying to God that he is okay. And
so she hasn't seen her child in a year. She's sitting here telling this woman that she's praying to God her son is okay. So she's actually got the thought. I just want to put this in a psychological perspective for you. For her to make that statement, that means the thought of her child not being okay is running through her head. And she is not a completely uncontrolled and inconsolable mom. This is a mom that has not seen her child in a year, a mother. I have a lot of mothers and a lot of grandmothers in my chat right now. I guarantee out of the 662 people in my chat, that 660 of you guys at minimum are probably mothers or fathers. 99.9% of my audience is women, moms and grandmothers. And I want you to think for yourself, you, not for her, not for me, for you. How would you be acting if you hadn't seen your child in a year? Would you really not be a blubbering mess? Would you really be able to compose yourself this well? Because to quite frankly, I haven't seen Seth compose himself this well.
we're gonna bring him home.
This story, we know it's baffled our Hendersonville community. We know it's baffled the mid-state community. It's baffled much of the country as they hear about it. Is there anything that stands out to you that's the most baffling? Like you're just trying to understand?
how we've gone this long and still haven't found him, honestly, is I don't understand how we haven't found.
I wonder if it had anything to do with her husband saying that we're never going to find him. She seems look at this. Does that look like a grieving? Look at her face. She's all, I'm sorry, but she's almost content.
Trying to understand.
She laughs.
How we've gone this long and
She
still
laughs.
haven't found him.
She
You're
laughs.
just trying to understand.
She's trying to understand. I don't understand when you're talking about. Now, if you're talking about your child and you're thinking of a loving memory of your child, right? You might crack a smile. Even if you're in a bad situation, you might be talking about a memory that you have, and you might have a smile about that memory. But you're talking about this case baffling the community, baffling law enforcement, asking her, what's baffled you the most? And once again, a smile and a laugh. Let's see.
How we've gone this long and still haven't found him, honestly, is I don't understand how we haven't found him yet.
Can't even look at her. Not even looking her in the eyes. Not even looking her in the eyes. Still not making eye contact. But you watch Master Manipulator. He has no problem looking somebody in the eyes and lying slap to their face. Master at it.
Why do you think Sebastian is still missing?
That's tough to say. I mean, it was the largest manhunt in Tennessee history
See that?
for a child.
Do you guys see that? I keep missing it. I'm trying to get you guys to see it, but the man that keeps moving with the plaid shirt's driving me nuts. And it feels like he keeps moving to try to get in front of these people or get to a vision of these people, and he's staying low to the ground. I don't know who he is, but I can tell you he's not the cameraman, because the cameraman goes behind the camera to move around, not in front of the camera. Why? Because he's a professional cameraman.
And absolutely zero evidence. There's nothing out there.
Absolutely zero evidence. Why is evidence and proof constantly coming out of these people's mouths? Evidence and proof. Evidence and proof. Evidence of what? Evidence that you guys didn't do anything? I don't know if that's necessarily accurate, especially with everything that we hear on social media have in our possession, custody, and control. Common sense would tell us law enforcement has a hell of a lot more than we do.
For a child. And absolutely zero evidence.
Sure does.
There's nothing out there. Law enforcement's working due diligently. They are working hard over and over and over. You know, we appreciate everything they do. I mean, it is an active investigation, so I don't want to go into it. But it is mind-blowing at the same time that it's been a year, and the amount of people that still don't know about this, it's unnerving, basically.
And I know you both want to try to get the word out.
Look at them. They still, out of all this stuff, she's sniffing like she's crying, but we don't see tears outside of that one tear that she was able to squeeze out. She has no tears while she's wiping her face or her nose, which is really, really odd. It just brought me back to Susan Smith all over again. And these are situations. We were watching something on Court TV, and it was about a woman that was from California, and her and this man, he had just recently retired from, what was it, the Army, Marines, Army? The one we watched last night on Panama. Was he in the Army?
I think he was in the Army.
He was in the Army, And him and this lady went over to Panama to start a new life. Well, apparently they drank a lot. She had photos of like her having black eyes. And then one day her family knew nothing about, she just stopped communicating with him. And then the boyfriend calls the sister to ask to pick up the truck. And then she realizes the boyfriend's back without her sister and he's coming to get a truck. And then they find out that he, within days or within a week, was engaged to another woman and walking down the aisle with another woman that had his baby. And it was like this whole little thing. And you know what? And they did searches. He tried to say she ran off with another man and went to Costa Rica. There was no because they had to use passports. There was no record of this lady coming there. Long story short, the boyfriend never helped search, not one time. Never helped search for a woman that he was living with that disappeared. They ended up finding her like a year later. He was ultimately convicted. And that was one of 2 shows that we had watched last night. And the other show was of similar circumstances where that person also didn't go out and help search for the person. So then I started going back and started looking at everything that we know from past cases. And I looked at the Real Me Too, and I'm like, look, how in the world are everybody always tells us that people they grieve differently, they act differently under certain stresses. But when we look at these array of cases, we see horrible things happening and people getting convicted. And when you go back and look at what happened in the case, they were MIA during all the searches. They were MIA during any of the activities that the other family members were doing to find their loved one. Every last one of them. And then you know what we also saw in all those cases that we were talking about last night is that every innocent family member that was innocent were out there searching for their loved one. Isn't that a little funny? But yet people try to put into our brain that people act differently. Well, it's kind of funny because I'm looking at the behavior of guilty people on a daily basis, especially when it comes to missing children or deceased persons. And it seems like the guilty people all act the same and the innocent people all act the same. So where's the differencing of these people's emotions and behaviors? Please let me know. Prove me wrong. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. What you will find is you'll only find minor outliers. That's it. Guilty people act the same. Innocent people act the same. There may be some nuances between them, a very low percentage of nuances between them. And I can attribute that to probably abuses and or mental illness as to why people would act different. So if you don't believe me, go check it out. Check out the cases. Do your own research. Do your own fact finding. And I bet you'll come up with the same statistical anomalies I came up with.
As much as possible. And that's what this story, obviously, that's what we're trying to do as well. There are many people who still do not know that you all have hired a private investigator. What can you tell me about the video that he recently has discovered and wants to share? I know this has been shared with authorities now.
Yes.
It has.
This is involving the neighborhood that you live in. Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about that video?
It's eye-opening to see that this is something that
I want to let you know before we listen to the word vomit coming out of this child abuser's mouth. That video that they're referring to, let's listen to that because she just said something. Because I want you to hear how she says it. Because this comes to my SF, my unscrupulous PI, and I still don't believe he is really hired by them. Let's listen to how she says it.
Trying to do is, I know you both want to try to get the word out as much as possible, and that's what this story, obviously, that's what we're trying to do as well. There are many people who still do not know that you all have hired a private investigator.
He just nods his head. He doesn't acknowledge her that is a true statement.
What can you tell me about the video?
He never referenced references his PI, his public PI by name. He never stated that he was hired. He just nodded his head. This is somebody that's trying to save their, butts, allegedly. And he's not raving from the rooftops about this amazing and impressive PI that they hired. I want you to see that nod again.
This story, obviously, that's what we're trying to do as well. Private investigator.
They did not acknowledge. There was no acknowledgement, not once.
What can you tell me about the video?
And he only discussed the video. He only discussed the video, not a PI, not his PI working for him, none of that BS. Only, and I repeat, only about the video. Now, if they were so confident in this man, wouldn't they be giving him an accolade such as our PI so-and-so is doing an amazing job? He also uncovered this, and he's uncovered many other inconsistencies from law enforcement that we've had to turn over or something to those lines. We hear none of that. We hear no raving. We don't hear this PI referenced by name, and we don't even hear him acknowledging that he was hired. Very interesting, I thought. Very interesting. So let's listen to what he has to say about this debunked video. Again, I want to make sure that you all know that law enforcement immediately, and I mean immediately, came out, acknowledged that they were aware of this person, acknowledged that they have cleared, so to speak, this person, and it's insignificant to this case. So law enforcement knows exactly who that person is. Law enforcement has specifically spoke to that person, and law enforcement realizes that person most likely lives in that area and was just collecting his dog to get into the house. And that's really, because you got to remember, you only had a smidgen of the video. You guys didn't see the dog jetting out, and you didn't see the person going after the dog, because that was not part of the narrative that this crackpot, unscrupulous PI wanted you to see.
That he recently has discovered and wants to share. I know this has been shared with authorities now.
Yes.
It has.
This is involving the neighborhood that you live in. Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about that video?
It's eye-opening to see that this is something that recently has surfaced, and it's been this long. It's just taking that long to find something.
Oh, I bet you guys are searching for something. You're searching for everything other than your son, in my opinion. If you guys believe they are searching, but they're not searching for their son, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe they are searching for their son, put a 2 in the chat. I'd like to gauge my audience. We have 679 people in chat. If you are able to comment, you can. Okay, thank you. Gotcha. Hell no, they aren't looking.
And this is something that recently has surfaced, and it's been this long. It's just taking that long to find something.
To find something, right? They need to find something to cover their arses, in my opinion.
And what the video shows is kind of mind-boggling. We went from potentially not having a sighting to potentially having a sighting. And it kind of changes, like, wait a minute, now we may have something to actually work off of and move forward with and see where this goes. Exercise every avenue till its fullest.
Well, thank goodness law enforcement has already analyzed these videos. Actually, they even went further than that. You know what law enforcement said? They said that they've had this video and identified that person 72 hours
at the 72-hour mark of the case. Wasn't it 72 hours when, within 72 hours that we had the DA on the scene, which is very uncommon to have a DA on the scene of a missing child, a runaway child at that. I find that a little funny that they had this video, they identified all this, and they gave us a clue. Law enforcement gave us a clue when they said we had this video and analyzed it and realized within 72 hours, the first 72 hours. Hey, Blackhawks, nice to see you. Yeah, he says, True Crime 101, trying to plant a fake lead, pretending to be helpful. Exactly.
No
It
stone
doesn't happen.
unturned. No stone unturned. And Katie, you told me earlier you were determined to get to the bottom of this, to get to the bottom of that video.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that could possibly be something that could lead us to him. We're going to keep looking. We're going to keep digging and keep finding and confirm if it is or isn't, because, I mean, if it's possible, then it's got.
She can't spit it out because she knows it's bullshit. She can't spit it out. Listen to this monstrosity of words.
Of that video.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that could possibly be something that could lead us to him. We're going to keep looking. We're going to keep digging and keep finding and confirm if it is or isn't, because, I mean, if it's possible, then it's got to be confirmed.
Well, thank goodness for law enforcement. Seems like they've confirmed that person and confirmed that has nothing, absolutely nothing. We've never heard law enforcement respond so quickly before and be this proactive on disinformation and misinformation ever. And they wanted to make sure the whole world knew that this is an insignificant lead that has been vetted and cleared.
How hopeful are you that this video truly has something that could lead to finding Sebastian?
I pray that if there is anything even remotely in it that could help us find Sebastian, I pray that it is I don't know how to word it, but
she can't word nothing. To that comment, no, I wouldn't say that about Holly Thompson. She actually is a pretty good reporter. I think what people are misinterpreting is the fact that Katie had attorneys there. So law enforcement would have only allowed them to ask certain questions. It was probably already pre-negotiated what to stay away from in order to obtain this interview. When you have attorneys involved, that's typically what lawyers do. They make sure that the interviewer knows exactly what they can and can't, and they let them know, I'll shut you down. And this is, this is back and forth. We don't know if this was a straight conversation or if there was pauses in between it, if there was conversations back and forth with the attorneys, because they're going to cut all that out.
And it's followed up and found out and confirmed one way or the other, because,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the video. I know it's in it. It actually gives us more rejuvenated hope that we may actually be onto something. Well,
once again, they're not, because we all realize that these two people here, from where I sit, have the most information that could lead to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and they have the ability to help bring him home safely, and they sit and hide. That's what they do.
Just have to run it down. We've got to figure this out.
Well, it's been ran down.
And with law
I don't have to worry
enforcement
about it now.
doing what they can, and with the help of like TBI, the FBI, all of that. I mean, I believe Secret Service was involved in the beginning. Maybe they can look at this.
Oh yeah, they were, and that's why I know that these two people sitting before you are F bleep 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 ED. Just saying.
Video as well. Let's bring people back to the table, and let's exercise every possibility of enhancing.
Let's bring all the people back to the table. Doesn't sound like they're having the conversations with law enforcement that they want people to believe. Didn't Katie just say law enforcement has no evidence at this time on the last interview she gave? And now they're saying, well, we just need to get law enforcement back to the table. What?
All of that. I mean, I believe Secret Service was involved in the beginning. Maybe they can look at this video as well. Let's bring people back to the table, and let's exercise every possibility of enhancing this video, looking at whatever, and tackling what it is to get an answer.
Now,
Now do you guys understand why it was so important and why the unscrupulous PI had a problem with when they released the video of somebody running? Remember how he was upset about, oh, well, they weren't supposed to release this till Tuesday, because this was all part of the script, y'all. This was all part of the script. They wanted to have this video come out, them come out and look like, oh my gosh, see, we're not these bad people. But what had happened is somebody made a mistake, released that lights video too soon, and law enforcement had an opportunity to respond before any of these interviews were released that they were going to use for this narrative-driven campaign with these two interviews, and it blew up in their face once again. Why do all these things keep blowing up in their face? Maybe because they're trying to push a narrative and facts just happen to fall out.
your chance to respond, to speak out, to speak your mind.
Look at her. She keeps rubbing her nose, but she doesn't even have tears coming out. Did she do a few rails before she did this interview or something? Is that why she's so gunky in her nose? I ain't seeing tears coming out of her eyes.
Whatever it is that you want to say, but no matter what the story is, there are always people who will point fingers. What do you want to say to anyone out there who wants to say that one of you could have something to do with Sebastian's disappearance?
I would say to pause and to think, and I would say to consider the sources of information. Try to make sure that you're getting legitimate information.
Okay, so let's follow her instructions. Let's see what her instructions are.
I would say to pause and to think.
Okay, so let's take a pause and let's think. And let's look at where our information is coming from. Our information is coming from boots on the ground, actual people that was corroborated in addition to not only from me, but also Silver's on the scene that also went out there. We've got their own words. We've got law enforcement's own words. We definitely don't pay attention to mainstream media when it comes to these cases because they always get it wrong. And so we are absolutely looking at where this information is coming from and the legitimacy of the information that we have. And we know our content creators, the content creators that we rely on, whether they have good integrity or not, because when they lose their integrity, they're booted out of the true crime community. I mean, they still, straggle around thinking there's something, but they're pretty much done within the true crime community. As many of you guys see, a lot of people rise and a lot of people fall, right, on these social media apps. And this is another case where you have people that interject, and over time, people get tired of it and start losing interest in their commentary. Next thing you know, you no longer hear about them. And then you go check on them. They have really, really, really low numbers. And they do it to themselves. They do it to themselves. But we look at facts, and we base our theories and our opinions based on solid factual information from a variety of different sources, and then corroborate it.
And I would say to consider the sources of information. Try to make sure that you're getting legitimate information.
Just come to the Bullhorn Betty
Avoid the
show.
rumors. And I would say that everyone should pause and remember why we all came together in the first place.
We ain't with you, ish, but I can tell you why we here on the Bullhorn Betty show came together. We all came together for the benefit of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and to bring him home and to bring him home safely. These people came on the scenes to clear their name. Big difference. We have two totally different goals here. Okay? Our goal here on the Bullhorn Betty channel is to bring a child home and to bring a child home safely. Again, their goal is to clear their name.
And that is because Sebastian's missing, and because I'd like to believe that we all want to find him. And no matter what anyone's personal opinion is, that the most important thing still remains that Sebastian needs to be found. And
I bet you she worked on that speech really, really long, really long. She surely, Sebastian, she's struggling with it, but she's getting it out, guys. We got to give her props here.
Personal opinion is that the most important thing still remains. Sebastian needs to be found. Sebastian needs to come home.
Sebastian.
And I would just say thank you to everyone and anyone that is a part of that.
Did she just give Bullhorn Betty a thank you? Did she just thank Bullhorn Betty? Did I hear that correctly? There ain't no way. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Let's go back and listen. Let's go back and listen to it again. I think she thanked me. It sounds like she just thanked me. Because she said everybody, right? She did say everybody.
The most important thing.
Let's see her struggle on her son's name again.
That Sebastian needs to be found, and Sebastian needs to come home. And I would just say thank you to everyone and anyone that is a part of that.
Oh my gosh. I need to run. Lightning's about to strike, y'all. Take cover. Take cover. Lightning is about to strike, y'all. Lightning's about to strike. You guys see any? Is the storms coming? Is there storms coming? Oh my goodness.
So let's say Sebastian is listening when this is running, and he hears you.
Okay,
he sees
Scotty, thank you.
What do you want to say to him?
I would say that I love you so very much, and that I hope that you're okay. And I would say that know that we all love you, and that there are so many people that care and so many people that are looking, and hang in there and know that we're going to find you, know that we're going to bring you home.
Yeah, because Mommy Dearest decided to start sending her abusive, the guy that abused you, Sebastian. She's sending him out in the woods with a spirit box. You'll be okay. They're going to find you 10 months later. 10 months later.
I miss him so much.
That's the regret. That right there. That's the regret.
I miss him so much.
And still can't even push a tear out.
So at this point, it's keep searching. People keep.
She can't even. She's trying. She keeps closing her eyes like she's just wanting that tear just to come on down, but it ain't falling. Maybe she's dehydrated.
Looking.
Keep searching. Keep looking. We keep putting up new flyers. I know a lot of places they take them down after so long. We just keep going back and putting more up. I refer to my everyday.
I don't know if that's the case because her whole face was sweaty. I couldn't tell if that was sweat dripping down her eyes because her whole freaking, she had pelts of sweat on her forehead so bad in that first interview. I mean, like really bad. She looked like she was beyond hot flash.
Original request, just anyone that's willing, don't let him become forgotten. Don't let him become lost in the next story, not to supersede other children because they all deserve.
Oh, here it is. This is the most disgusting. This is what I thought she was about to say earlier on when she went on about how, we need to search for Sebastian and all the other missing kids as well. She pulled that Don Wells. This right here is going to floor you. Okay. If you don't think that this woman's couldn't be more of a piece of shit than she already is. Oh, wait for it. It's coming. Oh, it's coming. Let's listen to how much more of a piece of shit this woman right here could be.
Not to supersede other children because they all deserve just as much, if not more attention.
If not more attention than Sebastian. She just said that other children deserve more attention than her son. I can guarantee those other parents that are missing their children could give two you-know-whats about Sebastian Wayne Rogers over their own child. And I can guarantee that they're not going to say that Sebastian takes precedent over their missing child. Just like she should not be saying that other children should take precedent over her missing child. It's not being disrespectful. It's just how we feel. We take care of our own. If one of our family members are missing, that's the only family member we give a crap about. We don't care about some stranger we've never met. We care about ours and ours alone. And this statement right here made me sick. Let's listen to that again, because everybody else deserves to be found before her son.
Let him become lost in the next story, not to supersede other children because they all deserve just as much, if not more attention, because all children do. But I would say just please don't let him become forgotten and lost, because we're never gonna stop. We're never gonna let that happen if we can help it.
With his autism, is there anything else that we should add that you want the public to know right now?
I would say that
that's the point I was
making. What they would consider high functioning. He's not, he doesn't struggle with verbal.
Now listen to this. Okay, I'm going to kind of butt right on in here before she gets started, because this is another thing. This is another thing that really rubs Bullhorn Betty the wrong way. And that is that she's about to go in to explain how the misinformation about her son at the beginning was wrong and screwed up. Well, no shit, Shirley. It took Seth telling the world that. It definitely didn't come out of this mom and stepfather's mouth. They're the ones that were implying that Sebastian was weak and couldn't do anything on his own and was, in your face type of kid. And the only thing he was really good at was running and maybe playing chess, because he could beat grown adults at chess. I mean, that was probably the nicest thing that these two hotheads even bothered saying about their own child. And then she's about to tell us about how everything at the beginning about her son was wrong and inaccurate. Well, who's the one that gave the wrong and inaccurate information? Because it definitely was not Seth. So I wonder how they could have mistaken the information so horribly. Law enforcement. Interesting.
Communication, but he does, he does struggle sometimes with expressing himself, is, I guess, the best way that I could put that.
Expressing himself. So now it's expressing himself instead of having no personal boundaries, which is what came out of both her and her abusive husband's mouth.
but he's so smart and he's so capable.
Oh, now he's smart and capable. He's not the infant that likes to defecate on himself and is forced to wear pull-ups. Now, all of a sudden, a year later, he's this great kid to her.
I guess the best way that I could put that. But he's so smart and he's so capable, and that I think the initial image of him that was portrayed was misleading to an extent. And I think that in the chaos of trying to get the initial information about him out, that various things got taken and misconstrued. So I would just...
I'm sorry to laugh because this is not a laughing matter, but taken and misconstrued? We heard the language come out of their mouths. We played their statements over and over again. I find it quite ironic that somehow we misconstrued American English and statements made in the American language. And we played it over and over and over again ad nauseum. It didn't seem like we were unclear at what they were trying to convey to us. I'm just saying, it seems very clear. The only person that let us know that Sebastian was capable was his father. Because at first I thought his son was not, I didn't understand what high functioning meant. It took Seth telling me his son was capable and all these things that I was taking from the mom and stepdad. It was Seth informing me that those things were inaccurate, and Seth informing me about his wonderful and handsome son and how smart he was. It was Seth the one telling me to change my language when it comes to explaining to me to change my language when it comes to his son, because what I know of his son is inaccurate. There was no misconstruing of the mom and stepfather's language. It just took Seth telling us and fighting for his boy, so we understood his boy would not just run away from home. His son is not this infant. That his son is a well-adjusted, functioning, highly functioning autistic boy that just has a chromosome deletion syndrome. But he's good. He's keeping up with his class. He just has a little extra time to do the work. But he's keeping up with his class at his age. Not a year under him, not 2 years under him, with his class. It was Seth that unconfused the world when it came to Sebastian and Sebastian's capabilities. He's the one that told us that he could swim. He's the one that told us that he loved fishing. He's the one that told us that he can handle a gun and hook him to a shooting range. That doesn't sound like an infant, does it? It sounds like a well-adjusted teenage boy that does what teenage boys like to do: swim, hunt, and fish. There's no misconstruing. We heard exactly what they said.
Tell everyone that he's smart, he's capable, he's funny, he's able to speak to you and to recognize things. You know, he's a teenager, and you know, so he's a young man. Honestly, he just had a birthday, and I'm sure that his mustache is coming in more. I mean, he really is a good kid.
What do you miss most about your son?
Oh, God. I miss his smile. I miss his laugh. I miss going and doing fun things with him. I miss taking him to get a...
Well, I just want to make sure that you guys understand, it didn't seem like he went to too many parks with his mother. It didn't seem like he went outside and she played with him. Like I just want to put this into perspective. I have a puppy, okay? Here's the puppy right here. This is Delilah. If you guys don't know who she is my puppy. She is my precious baby angel, okay?
I love this dog like I birthed this dog. Okay. That's how much I love this dog. Like, don't be messing with my dog. Right. And I got to tell you that at me as a puppy mommy, play with my dog. Right. As a puppy mommy, I take her out. She's an only child, only puppy child, right? Only fur baby. So she only has me to play with. So do I stick her in a cage, i.e. her bed, and tell her to take care of herself and play with herself? No. I got toys. I play with her on the bed. She's got toys on the bed. She's got toys on the floor. I play ball with her outside. Yeah, she is spoiled rotten. But you see what I'm saying? Like, moms have to do things with their children. And when you have an only children, you're your only child's friend. Especially once, like Sebastian Rogers, where he wasn't allowed to have friends over at the house. Why do I say that? Because she never invited anybody over to the house to play with him. She never had a play date with her son. Maybe back in California they did. But it doesn't sound like they've done a whole lot with him. It seems like even from Chris's own statement in past interviews, he talks about all the stuff that Seth does with his son. Okay, I'm checking now. Hold on a second. Let me look at something here. I'll have to look at these photos. I don't know who BB. You'll have to give me a second to look at these photos. I'm not quite seeing what you're needing me to see, so it's going to take a little bit of analysis that I can't see. Let me just keep going up. I'm thinking that this is you, Brown Eye Girl, but it's going to take me. I'm going to have to analyze these. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I might have to go through these and check it out. Oh, here. Okay. No. Oh, I got the wrong one. Hold on here. That's not you. BB's not you. I only got one email. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. I'm seeing it. Okay. I got you. Hold on a second. Huh. Interesting. I'll pull this up closer to the end. We'll take a look at it, but that's pretty interesting. So I got to see what Brown Eye Girl sent me. Hold on. Let me look at Scotty. Hold on, Scotty. Let me check you out. Well, to be honest with you, Scotty, many people don't know, but I've met Dan Bongino and his wife, and while when they're in their positions, I can probably definitely send him some things. But I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you about that by email after this. But thank you for sending that to me. Thank you for sending that to me. Yeah, I know a lot of the people that are being instilled in the new
Smile.
administration.
I miss his laugh. I miss going and doing fun things with him. I miss taking him to get a haircut and him saying, "Mom, feel my head."
See, like that, her having a little laugh about something she remembers of her son, I think it would be normal. Okay. But it would also be followed by tears out of their eyes because they've remembered this great thing and that is missing right now. Right. So I expect more from this mother. I expect more. Click on the picture. Oh yeah. I will. I saw the picture, Brown Eye Girl. I'm going to pull it up after we're done with this interview so people can see it.
I miss cooking dinner with him. I miss game nights.
Now, I found that game nights interesting. And here's why I think the game night comment is interesting. And it's something now somebody's going to have to, inform me. But a lot of you guys watch Silver's on the Scene. I think Silver's on the Scene is a great addition to the true crime community here on YouTube. I think that, he's doing very, very good searching, investigative work, a whole host of stuff. He's doing a bang up job. And, I always love to, I'm having struggles with words this morning too, because I'm trying to spit out what I'm trying to spit out without being over the top, but he's just really good at what he does. I really do appreciate his work on this case without a doubt. And one of the things that he did is when I went out to the area where Chris was employed, while I did not step foot on the business property and stayed on public property, which is my God-given right to do, and I'm a taxpayer of this country, and I'll stand anywhere I damn well please if it's public property. And if anybody wants to move me, good luck trying, okay? But and the reason why I'm so contentious on that is because somebody tried to say I went to Chris's job. No, I didn't. I was on the outside of his job, and I spoke to people going to the job, walking from their cars on public property to the job. Never stepped foot on the job, never drove to the job, and never interrupted anybody while they were on the job. That's within my rights as an American citizen. And so what I learned is that he was not there at 5:15. They actually went further and basically laughed when I asked them that, because they were like, if somebody was walking up those cranes. Now, mind you, I was dealing with, because the people coming in had, the people I spoke to were Hispanic, and they had a strong Spanish accent, but many people don't realize that I have half my family is Hispanic, so I had good communication with them. And so they were laughing kind of at me and saying, look, if somebody was crawling up those cranes at 5:15 in the morning, we would think that somebody's, jacking, people. They said people do not, I can't remember the exact words that they said, but they basically said people do not go up those cranes at 5:15 in the morning, that the crane crew usually gets there anywhere between 6:30 and 6:45, that occasionally somebody will be there a little bit earlier than that. But it's very uncommon is the information I got. Okay. And that was just being on the outside. It sounds like Silver's on the Scene went there and actually spoke to one of Chris's an employee that worked with him, or a supervisor or something like that, and had learned that Chris did not show up to work until well after 6:30. I can't remember the exact, I don't want to speak out of place, but I can't remember the specific time that Silvers was told, but it was told that he didn't arrive until much later than I thought he had arrived. And he further was told that nobody on the job even knew that Chris had a missing son. He was kicked off the job for a poor attitude, and that it wasn't known until law enforcement came to question his employer that they realized that he had a missing boy. And I think that's what caused some tension between him and his job, where his job told him, wait a minute, you need to get this worked out before you come back to work, because they thought that was odd. Most people will not work. If you have a missing child, your child's more important than your work. He could have had himself excused. There was 2 other people that could have excused him from his crane. He chose to continue to work. And then Silvers also found out there was a possibility that there was a 4-day weekend, that Chris did not come to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and came back to work that Monday. Now, this coincides with Terry Lynn stating that there was a game night, right? There was a game night that happened Thursday. And of course, with some of the stuff that was said, I didn't really entertain that. I didn't engage with that because there was nothing that I could corroborate about that alleged game night. But even Katie is talking about this. She loves her game nights. And so I just thought that kind of also solidifies. But does anybody remember whether or not if Silvers ever confirmed one way or the other whether Chris had that weekend was a 4-day weekend or if that was just a misunderstanding? Did he ever address that again? I know he was looking into it.
Yeah.
So if you guys know, please send that to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'll ask him when I have an opportunity to ask him. But I'm very interested in that.
He would play Uno until the sun came up if you let him. You know, he goes through phases of which games he's into, but, you know, I miss him. I miss everything about him, the good, the bad. I miss his attitude. I miss, you know, him trying to eat all the sweets instead of dinner. I miss him stealing my Brussels sprouts while I'm trying to cook them.
I'm sorry? Hey, Dana. Hi, Miss Mathis. I hope you're doing well. It's nice to see you. I hope I'm not in trouble. I always feel like I'm in trouble. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Guys, say hi to Dana. Sweet, sweet, sweet Dana. It's nice to see you, love bug. I hope you're doing well. I can't wait until you get to see Delilah. She's ready to see you. All right, let's get on with it. Let's go back. There we go.
You know, him trying to eat all the sweets instead of dinner.
What, didn't he get in trouble for that? Didn't he get in trouble for sneaking snacks? Wasn't he punished for sneaking snacks? And she's happy.
I miss him stealing my Brussels sprouts while I'm trying to cook them.
That's that regret I'm talking about. I'm sorry. That looks, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I sense lots of joy that's being missed right now.
Green tea.
His jokes, the way.
That is the only one that they've ever showed is the green tea. And probably that was a very endearing. I mean, it was a cute video. You just really showed his bubbly personality on camera because many of us didn't know who Sebastian was when we started this case. And seeing a little insight into who he is has empowered us because I think we all kind of fell in love with Sebastian and who he is as this teen that, you know, in all fairness was happy. And you know, the worst part about all this nonsense is that his teachers and friends talked about him being happy and just a great kid and all this other stuff while they saw him in school, and come to find out all these horrible things were going on behind those closed doors. And he still knew how to go to school and have a smile. Is it because he was happy to be in school? You know, I kind of feel like, you know, he felt safe at school. We definitely know he felt safe at his dad's house.
He laughs when he tells a funny. He had there's a video that I put out that he was being goofy, and he had this like half gallon of green tea that he had gotten from the grocery store, and he thought of this joke, and he ran in the kitchen and he grabbed a green cup and he was like, "Mom, green tea." And, it was just so.
You expect her to break down. It's been a year. We have no tears coming down her face, but she keeps wiping her nose like she's got tears coming down. Where are the tears? Where are the streams? We are 19 minutes into this video. We have one lone tear so far from a mom that hasn't seen her own flesh and blood son for a year.
So funny. And I was just like, dude, hold on, you got to do that again. And I grabbed my phone and I was like, you got to do it again. And he was like, green tea. And he was just like, it's not in the video, but he was just rolling because he just thought it was the funniest thing ever.
It was a cute video.
And
He's got some quirky one-liners.
oh God, he was getting he was getting to where he had some good ones.
Sounds like a great sense of humor.
It was definitely developing. He was
We are getting closer to the end of this. We got about 5 more minutes of this interview. And I want you guys to pay very much attention to both Chris and Katie's body language. I want you to see how far away they're sitting from each other, how much they discussed, how little body contact they've had with one another. This has been a problem that we've seen from the very beginning. There's no consoling from Chris to his wife that has lost her son, that her son's missing. There has been no public consoling, no public love, no public nothing shown from them. Not in one interview. The only time we've ever seen these two people touch publicly in any of these interviews was the Hands interview. We've never seen Chris console his wife. We've never seen his wife console him. We have never seen them even touch each other. Like if I remember I was going through a lot. My dog, because that's what I have, right? It was Layla. I told you guys about this, where she was outside and we had a trailer out there, and I come in from work and, I'm cooking dinner, and my husband thought she had gotten into something sticky because there was hair sticking up on her back. Okay. Hair. And when he looked at it, she must have punctured herself with something that was rusted under the trailer, because it took some, like a little corner. I don't know how to explain it. Like a little corner like this, like that was lifted up on her skin, but it was down to her bone. It was down to her bone. She injured herself. She wasn't whining. She didn't let us know she was hurt. My husband just saw hair sticking up on her and went over there to take a washcloth to take whatever sticky in her hair was. And that's when he saw the wound on her. I went into shock. I grabbed my phone and I was shaking, and I couldn't think of who I was trying to call. I'm sitting there seeing, I literally, my brain went blank. I'm staring at my phone. I need to call the veterinarian, but I couldn't even, my brain was so mushy. I had my phone and I couldn't even type in veterinarian because my brain was so blank. I was in shock. It was very unnerving for me. And my husband had to console me. We're sitting at the veterinarian. I feel like a terrible dog mom, even though I had nothing to do with it. They were in a secure area, secure yard. We had no idea that they were digging under the trailer. We were, it was just unknown to us. And my dog got injured. So we immediately take her to the vet, and I'm in tears. I feel for my dog. I'm a ball of mess. And my husband is rubbing my back saying, calm down. It's going to be okay. She's just got to get some stitches. She's going to be okay. She's going to be okay. I can tell you that trailer came right up out the backyard, because I never want to go through that again. But we were unaware of the danger. But once we were aware of the danger, that danger, came out. But she ended up having to have stitches. But my husband was touching me. He was holding my hand. He was rubbing my back. He was consoling his very, very upset wife. And this is over, yet again, my animal. And every time, interview after interview after interview, you never see them. I know. But I would not put my child in the backyard for 4 hours a day. Okay, alone. Dogs, on the other hand, it's perfectly acceptable. But I would be freaking out, and I'm telling you that
that if it was a child, like Tony said, I would be a mess, but my husband was consoling me. We're talking about a human being here that is missing, and nobody knows where he's at or how he personally is doing. And you get the mom nor the dad has they don't console each other one bit. They just keep their hands crossed in their lap and make sure that they're a foot away from each other in every single interview. And then they realized what they did. And thank you, Holly Thompson, for making sure you cut the bullshit in. And I'm going to say it just like that. You're going to see what I'm talking about.
Was coming into his sarcasm, like one of the other videos I
We're talking about joking, and she says he's coming into his sarcasm. I thought that was weird.
released when it's hard to hear, but we were bowling, and because he has a lot of fun with it. He actually was getting a lot better without bumpers, but he like rolled a good roll, and he turns around and he's like, "You got wrecked, Mom." And I was just like, what is happening right now? But I mean, I miss that, I miss being able to hang out with him, because he's not little anymore, which we had a lot of fun when he was little, but when they get older, you start being able to do different things with them, and game nights are, God, they're a blast sometimes.
We didn't have pool days this year.
Yeah, pool days. It's big in the summer. He loves to go to the pool as much as possible.
Swimming.
Oh God, he wants to swim. He's I don't know if I put that picture out or not, but there's one that I took of him. He has on this like giant, I think it was a flamingo, and he was just like just being a cool guy.
I would like to know when those photos were taken, because when I see him in recent photos versus the photos that she's putting out to show these things, he looks like a much younger child. So I would like to know what dates these things happened, because it seems like all the happy times were from years ago, honestly.
Being a fun kid. For our viewers, before we end this, I guess your message for them is just keep hope alive.
Remember him.
Keep looking.
Share his face, because talking about him is what.
So I guess there should be no problem with me making sure that we talk about him regularly, right? That was one of the questions they asked me in court. Like, I didn't know that I was required to only produce XYZ videos on this subject matter. I didn't know my government could tell me how many times I'm able to. I make sure that this child is front and center, has a photo behind me. Everybody knows who we're looking for, and everybody that comes here to this channel knows that we have a missing child that we need to find. So there is that.
What we want to do, but we want to make sure that people know his face. We want to know that people.
So they want to make sure people know his face. I just want to show you the oxymoron in that statement. They have no photos behind them. They have no photos in their hand. They're not wearing shirts with photos on them, even though we know they have shirts with photos on them because they were in a motorcycle shop wearing those photos while they were shopping for a motorcycle during one of his vigils. So we know that they have the ability to advocate for Sebastian, but apparently they like leaving it up to everybody else to do. Because I've never seen Katie hold outside of Chronicles of Olivia, and that was because that's what Olivia does. She makes sure that there's photos around. She sets the scene because she knows what she wants to capture to really, bring an emotional impact on these stories. She had no idea when she was in there that they were lying to her face. We caught them in a big lie because of that 10-minute video that Chronicles of Olivia put out. But she had no idea of that. She didn't look into this case. She happened to be there for Riley Strain. A friend said, hey, there's another missing boy. Go over there and interview the parents, and let's try to blow Sebastian's name up so we can get some attention to his case. And that was her only purpose of being there. She had no idea who Sebastian was. She had no idea who Chris and Katie were. They let her in the house, and she learned a little more about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. She had no information to challenge them on anything, but you guys know Olivia. She would never challenge anybody on anything. She takes their information, much like other people, and then when she does her due diligence, she explains that. But once she realized that she felt very uncomfortable in this case, she hasn't run any more about the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Why? Because she felt threatened. Not inside that home with them. I don't want to put words in her mouth because that's not what she said. But this case itself worried her and scared her. And that's why we did not cover this case together. She wanted me to work on another case with her and exit stage right with this case because of the volatility and the craziness of these hate channels and what they were willing to do for this criminal mom and dad, in my opinion. I mean, the mom sat by and let her husband abuse her son. As far as I'm concerned, at the lowest level, they're criminals related to child abuse. I'm not going to get off that. You can't beat that out of me. There's records, and I trust those records over their mouth. We're getting close to the fake.
Know who they're looking for, and we would just ask that everyone just kind of be aware of your surroundings in general.
Not one sign. They could have brought a photo and put it behind her. They could have staged this scene a little better to let us know that there's a missing child and what he looks like. She's instructing everybody else to make sure his face is out there, but she fails to do it herself.
You never know, and all it takes is just one person that could make a difference. And
I would say, if anything,
he can't just sit there quiet. He got to have his 2 cents, y'all.
constantly being vigilant, just looking out there, aware of what your surroundings are. Please.
Why are they saying be vigilant and be aware of your surroundings? Isn't that an odd statement to say, since this child was very aware of his surroundings because he was in a locked home? He was in a locked home. You got to be vigilant of your surroundings in a locked home. That does say a lot. That does say a lot about these people. Because you should be vigilant even inside your own home where you're supposed to be safe. Be vigilant of your surroundings. What great advice. What great advice.
If you see something, call 911. Call TBI. I know there's a lot of other things out there, but
we would encourage.
It needs to be segregated.
It needs to be segregated. Got it.
There, but
we would encourage.
It needs to be segregated. Just a single point of right back to law enforcement.
I think that's what we do have, except on Seth's team. We don't send every single lead over because most of these people have third and fourth hand information, and law enforcement only wants legitimate leads. So we have an entire intelligence agency in addition to multiple private investigators reviewing all the information to find out what's credible so we don't waste law enforcement's time.
That's where it needs to go. Anybody that sees anything, just report it, please.
Should we report that this man's vehicle, whatever vehicle he may have swindled to go to this area, was seen in the area during the card pool? Only 2 internets in that area that didn't belong, and he's joking with Elevated Truth, saying that those a-holes didn't even know one of them was him. Interesting statement to make.
Feel that there's someone out there right now that knows something, they're just not saying it?
Can we, for those that believe that, let's answer Holly's question in the chat. Let's go back 5 seconds.
There's someone out there right.
Anything, just report it,
Okay, here.
Please.
Let's answer
Do
her
you
question.
feel that there's someone out there right now that knows something?
Let me rephrase that. Do you think there's somebody inside that interview that might know more information than they're letting law enforcement know? If you believe so, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe not, put a 2 in the chat. I'd like to gauge the audience.
They're just not saying it?
It's hard to say until we can run down this video.
I would say the 2 people right there have a lot of information that they haven't quite come clean about.
And figure out what we're seeing. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to, because it's an active investigation. I don't want to add any more
Rumor.
chaos that's already out there. We just want to keep.
We just want to hide and stay out of it. You know, nothing to see over here, y'all. Remember, he was the one that said if we just stripped everything away, it's nothing more than a boy just having a temper tantrum and running away from home.
Keep this to the core, Sebastian.
Keeping hope alive.
Watch. Okay, guys, you guys are getting ready to see it. You're getting ready to see it. So what are we about to see that I'm so wanting to point out to you? Because they had no contact with one another. And you clearly see where they cut the film, and they do this, they're holding each other's hand. Bull crap. Okay? And I guarantee that was the attorney saying, hey, can you get them holding their hands? And can you get this shot there? Because they knew how that appearance looked. So be ready. It's about to happen. I'm going to take Hindsight's banner down so you can see the whole thing in living color. Watch it. It's getting there. We got 30 seconds. It's about to happen.
Yes.
Right here.
The search goes on.
Ready?
We are hopeful and we are praying for you.
Thank you.
Right here.
We appreciate your time. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
No hands touching.
These two viewers.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Watch. They cut it.
These two viewers.
See? They retook it. They retook the shot. They retook the shot to hold hands, y'all. They retook the shot to hold hands. Tell me that's not manipulative. Here it is.
We appreciate your time. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch.
These two viewers.
My message would be first and
Look how uncomfortable he looks holding her hand. Look at Chris's face having to touch her. Watch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
These two viewers.
my message would be first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for helping spread his flyer, his story.
Yeah. That wasn't, yeah. He's leaning back. He's even leaning back away from her, not toward her. Yes. But did you guys see the clear cut? They wanted to make sure they stuck that in there. They had to put that in there. I don't remember seeing Katie have her nails done before. I could be wrong, but I don't remember her nails ever being done before. Why is all of a sudden she's dolling herself up? Did you guys find that funny too? Because these aren't recently done nails. These are at least a couple week old nails because you can see the growth, right? Right here, you can see the growth. She's never had nails. All of a sudden, her son's gone, and she's taking better care of herself than before he disappeared. What in the ever-loving you-know-what? Moreover, this is going to be a little tricky. Did Katie try to unalive herself in the past, or is she just a cutter? I wish I had my siren button, right? Has she been suicidal in the past, or is she a cutter? What do I mean? Go take a look at that arm, that her green heart with the cross, her memorial for her son, her memorial tattoo for her son that she can't even put his name on. Have you guys looked at the scars going across her wrists? I think the mom had more problems than any of us know. Her tattoo looks like a kindergarten did it. It was cheap. It was tiny. I feel like that is about the size of her heart for her son. Actually, I think it's smaller than that, but I think it would have looked ridiculous just having a green dot there. So she had to do something a little more. So if that has anything to show about her love for her son, I guess we know why we're here. I always cut my thighs the most, though. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good thing. If you've got a cut to hide the pain, it's probably time for you to go and have some counseling and get some of the stuff. You know, I'm not dogging anybody. People come from all walks of life, and your body's, you're obsessed of doing certain things. But when you start getting to that point, I think that should be your wake-up call to say, hey, maybe things aren't going right in my life. This is not, normal. Maybe I need to be responsible and, go out there. And I know other people have gone through it, and I know how dangerous it is. That's why I'm adamant. I'm not being judgmental in any stretch of the imagination. The only reason I'm pointing that out is to point out the possibility of her being a little more messed up than it's about her state of mind and her psychology. Okay. It's not to throw shame or hate. And like other people in the chat, we obviously have some people that have cut themselves in the past, but it looks like overcome. I have since I was, okay, got it. That have overcome some things. So you guys understand this a heck of a lot more than me. I don't like needles. I don't like sharp things. I'm very, very careful when I have knives in my hand. I don't like even cutting finger, I'm very, very cautious. I'm not my mommy in the kitchen. My mommy sometimes looks at Edward Scissorhands, right? With all the bandages. So that's my commentary on that. I don't think these interviews have ever done them justice. And the reason why is because their motivation behind them is in the wrong place. It's misguided. I think their motivation for all their interviews that they have ever done has been for self-preservation, personal reasons, not to advocate or find their son. Whereas we have Seth Rogers that doesn't give a crap what happens to him. He just wants his son. He doesn't care about the BS. He doesn't care about what they're saying. He doesn't care about this. Does he not like it? Of course he doesn't like it. He's an innocent father that's searching for a son, while his ex-wife and her abusive man that beat his son are doing absolutely nothing. And then has all these people saying he had something to do with it. He was at work. And any buffoon that wants to challenge that, you better bring some effing receipts, because I will drag you all day long. I had the platform to do it. You guys have watched me do it before. I do not like liars. I do not like people stepping in and muddying up these cases. People try to blame me for doing it. No, I come with the facts and I come with the truth. Do we get some of those things wrong? Of course we do. So does everybody else. It comes with the territory of fluid situations. I'm not going to be ashamed, and I'm not going to duck my head. But what I am going to say is I stand on this platform, and our batting average here is out of this world. Out of this world. We've gotten more right than we've ever gotten wrong. And I'm telling you, my eyeballs are directly at those two people. And I know in my gut I'm not wrong. Not about them. Maybe the situation, but not about them. Not about them. Those two people are evil. They're manipulative. They're narcissistic. They're drunks. And they like to abuse children. And then they like to cover up. And they like to lie to law enforcement, lie to judges, lie on affidavits, and lie under oath. Sebastian does need to be found. Our hearts are with Sebastian. Our hearts are with his father. I truly believe in prayer. We go to church on Sundays, every Sunday, the coffee club, and those that would like to join us are always in church together, worshiping. I truly believe God moves mountains. And on March 1st, we have an opportunity to all come together and pray like we've never prayed before and pray that God moves mountains. And I think it's time, if you have the ability, to come down to Hendersonville, Tennessee, March 1st at 2 p.m. That would be Central Time for those that are on the Eastern or other time zones. Please come out and pray. If you can make it, please come. You are all welcome. Your only responsibility is to, no matter how you feel about anybody, me, Tony, Seth, the mom, the stepfather, other people in the community, it doesn't matter. This is not about them. This is not about us. This is about one person and one person only, and that's Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and to pray for his safe return. And if you have the heart and you want to be a part of that prayer, please show up. That's what we need. We need all of the prayers in this world to help move this big, huge, massive mountain. The mountain has to move. And through strength and through our faith, we can move these mountains. So please come out, show out, and let's support Sebastian. That's who we need to be supporting. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Everybody thinks that because I support Sebastian, I've got to support the mom and stepdad. No, I don't. I will never, ever, and I'm going to repeat that, support a person that hurts a disabled child or any child at that matter or related to that, right? Any child. Now, do parents make mistakes? Yes. Do I understand people aren't perfect? Yes. I am never going to turn my back on a parent, no matter what their past is, as long as they had nothing, and I mean nothing to do with the situation that they're in with their child or other missing loved one. We are here to help the victims, right? Seth is a great father. One thing that we learned even from Chris and Katie is he was the biggest rooter on the sidelines for his son, and still to this day, he does not disappoint. Still to this day, Seth does not disappoint. So let's rise up for Sebastian. Let's all come together for Sebastian. Let's put our hands and our prayers on this situation and pray to God. God brings the light to this case. We need to put our hands on the detectives and law enforcement. I have my personal opinions with them, and it's a personal matter between me and law enforcement. But at the end of the day, I want them to do a great job, an amazing job for Sebastian, no matter what my feelings, my personal feelings are. Because Sebastian, all of this is for nothing if we can't bring this boy home. Let's bring Sebastian home. Let's bring him home today. If you know something, say something. Reach out to 1-800-TBI-FIND or 833-TELL-DOG. You guys are amazing. We are a family. I want to take some time and go through here and just thank everybody that participated this morning. Donna, thank you so much. Michelle, thank you. Melanie, once again, thank you. Strawberry, thank you. Melanie, again, thank you so much. We have a grave crime with Grace. Thank you. Oh, Forever's Nikki Mom also gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Holly says she memorized her lines, in my opinion. I do believe that. They worked hard. From the edge of Pasco. Oh, Jules is to Cali. Oh, that's nice. I love it. I love it. Shining Star. Thank you, Betty and mods, for all you do. Thank the mods. Good gosh, they're the ones that get beat up the most when I'm online. They keep me from getting beat up, so they deserve it. They deserve it all, right? Lady 7-Up, thank you so much. Aw, Summer's Army, God bless you for becoming the newest member of the Coffee Club. We have Brenda. Brenda says KP reminds me of Susan. A lot of her behavior, I know. Then you know what made me start saying Susan Smith's name? Because my mom. That's what my mom said. And that's when I started reviewing. I'm like, yeah, because you guys know I covered the Susan Smith case too. Jennifer, thanks for being the newest member of the Coffee Club. You can't see me. Yes, I can. No mention of 3 a.m. flashlight videos. Not once mentioned. I agree with that.
Hi, Bama. It's nice to see you. CP used to use that machete to cut off the mullet. We got to have a mullet party. Don't go nowhere. We're going to have a mullet party. We're going to have a mullet party. Brenda, thank you so much. Gina, thank you. Thank you, Bullhorn Betty, Delilah, and Mods. Absolutely. And our beautiful Brenda, thank you so much. I'm still doing good on coffee because I had 2 boxes of K-Cups that showed up. So my espresso is still large and in charge. So I love that. If you guys have never heard of it, Tony's Coffee, never heard of it until Brenda sent it to me. Never heard of it. She's like, you got to try this coffee. It's the best coffee you've ever tasted. And I'm like, everybody tells you that. And I drink it. That stuff good. And she sends me whole beans and I ground and fresh coffee. God bless you. God bless you, Brenda. I love you. I almost would give you a Delilah, but I'm not going to because she's my precious baby. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. I'm mommy's precious little baby angel. And my mommy loves me. And she says, screw you haters that want to take me away from my mommy. She will fight you. You can ask Karen. This dog loves her mama. She loves me. Like she seriously doesn't need to be on a leash. Does she? No. She follows me literally everywhere. She follows me everywhere. Wherever I go, she goes. She's starting to love Auntie. Yeah, she is. I looked at her this morning. She's like, "Oh, you can give her to me." I said, "Am I going to get her back?" Now I'm having to worry about my mama and the real me too. I might not have Delilah, y'all. We might have her debuted on the Bullhorn Betty show. Missing Delilah. I think Ellie has a lot more info than they have. Oh, no, I absolutely. Because common sense tells you that. I mean, this is how my common sense works, okay? I'm thinking that we are average Joes, so we have access to public records. We have access to this, but we don't have access to a lot of stuff. We don't have subpoena power. We don't have warrant power. And you cannot tell me if the information that we have in our possession, custody, and control that is factual, that's very damaging to Chris and Katie. Law enforcement, common sense would tell you, with all the bells and whistles law enforcement has, that that we, the people, make sure that they have to fight crime. My common sense tells me they have a plethora of information, more than so the true crime community on here. Yes, we do have access and sources from inside the community that do keep us informed. That's kind of our secret sauce, right? Because people want to make sure that this case does not, thank God, they don't want to be public people in the community that are going to be attacked by these boneheads. So they leak us information and we talk to you guys like we found the information and never reveal our sources. And there have been times that people told me I need to do this, and this. And I said, well, the only way I can do that is if you're exposed. And so what did I have to do? I had to go and collect all that information so that person didn't get exposed. So it all had all of my name on it on the record request. But it really was a lead that came from a third party. I wasn't that smart. I didn't think to go down that avenue. But here we are, right? And it's because people in that community care about this child. And because of those people in that community that care about this child, they're making sure that we are up to date because they want this child's case solved. They want to know what happened to this beautiful boy that disappeared from their community. And they're not stopping either. And they're not giving their law enforcement, an easy time about the information either. What you guys don't know online is there's a lot of turmoil behind the scenes in that community and with law enforcement, in my opinion. But hopefully, through investigative know-how, the help of the DA, hopefully we can have some resolution to this. But what really bothers me more than anything else, no, Chris wasn't. He's never wore his ring. I've never seen him with his wedding ring on. It makes it easy to be out of town and make the bartenders think you're a single man when you won't even wear your wedding ring and you don't ever have a wife on your arm. You're there by yourself.
That's what happened in Alabama. I know exactly who Chris was knocking boots with. Can't wait for that little nugget to come out in due time. In due time. In due time. So that's my commentary, guys. You guys rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. Please be here March 1st, if you guys can, 2:00. And it's at
I put it in the chat a bunch of times.
Oh, you did put it in chat? Okay, perfect. So go through the chat, find it. I'll make sure that the flyer is posted on my community tab for those that would like to come. Your only requirement here is to come with love in your heart. That's all your requirement is.
Please wear green.
Okay, and wear green. In Sebastian's, that's Sebastian's color. We want as many people to wear green or something for Sebastian or something with Sebastian's photo on it. We want everybody kind of there, but your only requirement is to come in that church with love. That's it. Seems pretty easy. Doesn't cost you a dime to show love. It doesn't cost you a dime to be respectful. It doesn't cost you a dime to say a prayer over this situation, over law enforcement, and over Sebastian. All right, guys. Take care and God bless. We'll see you soon. Oh, we're doing I told you guys not to go anywhere. Not to go anywhere. We're going to do it. I'll do the short version.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV. Oh shit! First cops, now this. Oh.
I just keep wondering, was it that? Was that the reason why the mullet went bye-bye? Was that the reason? I don't know. Yes, yeah, and the photo from Brown Eyes. Okay, yeah. All right, let's share this. So this is referring back to the green hoodie. And there's the green hoodie image. There's another person. Now, we can't allege one way or another whether or not this is the person, but Chris Carr is the person that lives behind the Proudfoots. And this apparently is his son, which does have some resemblance of the green shirt hoodie guy, even though the green shirt hoodie guy is a little hazy. But there are some facial features here that appear to be known. So, we don't know what we don't know, but I thought that was interesting. And I think, show the photo. I just did. So I thought that was interesting, but again, I have to put the caveat on this photo as well, that law enforcement says that they have spoken to the green hoodie person, that they have cleared the green hoodie person, and that the green hoodie person is not relevant in this case. Show the photo. That was the photo you sent. Is that not the photo you sent of the boy?
Mama Marissa sent you an email too.
That is the only one. I don't, that's the only photo that I have. Did you guys not see it? That's the only photo I have that you sent. Let me put it back up here. I think that's it. That's what I got from you. Green hoodie is very important in my opinion. There were some oddities. I'm not going to fib. I don't know how to feel about the green hoodie person, because we're told that it's insignificant, but we saw like this person kind of hanging out around the car, and I don't know what that all was about. We see what appears what appears to be an exchange of some sort. We see a hand being on the car, and it looks like Katie is kind of in a relaxed stage. Not people say that she was probably screaming or this, that, and the other. And now we're hearing about the yellow hoodie, the yellow jacket person. My understanding is that yellow jacket guy actually works there. So I'm not sure, maybe he recognized Katie. You have to remember, this is a restaurant that Katie, Chris, and Sebastian frequented. Okay, frequented. That means people would recognize them coming in because they come in frequently, right? They didn't capture green hoodie inside the restaurant in the aisle. No, the green hoodie person actually walked into the restaurant and went to the women's bathroom and then left the women's bathroom and then left the restaurant. That's what happened. So, again, there are a lot of people like we've done with Sebastian. I asked you guys and challenged you guys to look for people that look similar to Sebastian, because Sebastian is, children resemble each other, body weight, height, the way they move, glasses. I mean, look at the kid in North Carolina. It was almost a spitting image of Sebastian, except his glasses were a little different and his chin was a little different. His chin was more narrow and pointy, where Sebastian is more, block, so to speak. Rodney sent a picture. Okay. Let me go over here and see what I've got. Rodney. I don't see a photo from a Rodney. Did you send it to me in Twitter or by email? Because what I'm going to have to do is I have to review these images. I mean, if I'm just getting them, I need to look what I'm looking at. I'm throwing images up on my screen that I have you guys the people that send it to me may know what they're trying to convey. Oh, it's the yellow coat guy is key. I'm not sure. Look at his phone.
People are saying that he was videotaping Sebastian.
Look at his phone. Interesting. Do we know that as a fact, or is it being? I'm going to have to look at that. If somebody can send me all, I got the ones that have already been sent, and I've got the yellow shirt guy. So there's that right there where they're saying that it appears that something's on the phone. But again, I need to look at. I need to enhance that and clear up the image of what's on his phone so we can. Just because somebody's looking at the phone and something's moving on the phone does not mean that they're recording somebody. They could be watching a video. They could be watching YouTube. They could be watching Bullhorn Betty while they're eating dinner or walking around. You just never know. So let's not overanalyze. Let's get some facts on it. If you guys have any information that might be relevant to the yellow shirt, the yellow jacket guy, send that over to me. I'll take a look, see what I can find. I'll call some people and see if I can make heads or tails of it. And maybe we can get to the bottom of it, So why does the yellow coat guy have a pic of Sebastian? We don't know that's what's on his phone. And not only that, I've got to look at the sources of this. We know that Photoshop is going around. I got to make sure. I mean, we just can't just go off any photo we see. We have to analyze that photo and find out if there's any possibility of that photo being compromised or modified in any way before we run with the story. So send me the stuff you guys have. I know Mama Rissa, Hindsight. I know that they're very, very good with looking at the photos and getting down to the raw photo and making sure that it's not manipulated or anything like that. So let's go through the processes. If you guys think that this is something that needs to be looked at, let's look at it, right? Let's just send me what you got. I'll get with some people, see what our options are, and see if we can make heads or tails of it. That's the best I can do. I can't, that's the best I can do. So we can do that. All right, guys. Well, you take care and God bless, and we'll see you later. I got to get out of here. So, whoa, and we were on here for almost 3 hours. All right, I got to go. Love you guys. Take care and bye.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.